Hey y'all, welcome back to Bible Fun with the Duns. Today I'm out here by myself in the cold and the dark and the nighttime, but it's okay because guess what? We're in Mark chapter number 14. So Mark chapter 14, it's full of a whole bunch of different stories and it covers a ton of stuff that you've probably heard a whole lot if you grew up in church or you've read the Bible, or if you've been to church around Christmas time. This stuff is really hit on. And so to go over everything in this chapter would take a super long time. And to be honest, I don't have enough time for that, and you sure don't have enough time to watch that video. And even if you did, then that video would be way too long for you to watch, and I don't blame you for turning that off. But anyway, because of that, I'm just going to kind of hit on the main thing that stuck out to me. So reading over this, I think it's interesting when you read over familiar stories or stories that you've heard so many times, probably hundreds of times at this point, but then still something new sticks out. And not necessarily new in the sense that like it was just put there, but you just never noticed it before. And this was the same kind of case with me. When Jesus is sitting down, talking with some people, and Mary comes in and she starts anointing his feet with the oil and cleaning it. And it said this oil is like super expensive. It was like as expensive as like years worth of daily wages. And so for her to have that, is kind of crazy. And even crazier is for her to spend it washing somebody's feet, because normally what you would do with this is the kind of oil that you would put on your loved ones when they pass away, to kind of number one, stop the smell, because decaying makes bad smells, but then also just like a big respect for that person. But what she's doing here, she anoints Jesus' feet, and with her tears she washes him, and with her hair she dries him off. And so you can imagine this is kind of crazy, honestly, because we're so quick to look at the Pharisees and say they're such bad people for calling her out, which is not completely wrong, but also like just to play devil's advocate here, you gotta look at it from their perspective and say this lady just jumped in and started crying on this guy's feet and poured oil and rubbing his feet with her hair. That's pretty interesting. That does not happen every day. So you do kind of got to give that to them. So let's not be too harsh. But anyway, I just love what Jesus says here when they say, when they're really kind of ridiculing her almost. He's like, or not even ridiculing, but kind of really questioning her, because there's probably a lot of confusion going on. And to be totally honest, they probably thought she was stupid, or she had her judgments like completely misplaced for her to use something so expensive and so valuable on somebody's feet. Not to mention the strange act of crying and wiping someone's feet with your hair and your tears. That's a whole other thing separately. But I love it, and we're about to get into that. But they say, why are you wasting it on this man? You could have traded that in for a ton of money. You could have used it for what you normally use it for. And they're like, what are you doing? And what I love here is just the fact that they're wrong. I do love that. But more so the reason why they're wrong, because their judgment is just really misguided. By saying it's a waste to give this to Jesus. And that really shows that they really don't believe he's God. They really don't fully understand him and who he is here on earth. And so with our insight now, knowing that he is God, because he proved it over and over again and said so over and over again, like it's just, I don't know, it's really admirable of Mary to do this, to give everything that she has to the Lord. And so it's not a waste. And what she did was probably the very best thing she could have done. And what you do with anything in your life is to give it to God. And she gave not only the oil, which was super valuable of itself, but she also fell at his feet and worshipped him, and she wept on him, and she used her own hair to wipe his feet. And so this is just a really big deal, because it really shows her love and her intimacy with God, and she knows she's a sinner and she needs to be forgiven, and that just deepens her love and her connection to him. And I just love to watch that, because it serves as such a great example for what we need to do in our everyday lives. If she's able to give up the materialistic like that, then we also need to give up possessions in this world, but even more, we need to give up our lives for him, just like she did. Fully commit to him, fully bow at his feet in reverence, and show him our praise and our worship, and thank him for his grace, like she was doing. And so when you really look at it like that, it's honestly, it's not as crazy as it seems. And this is one of those things like you hear all the time in Sunday school, but for me at least, I guess it's like just now clicking, like just the gravity of what's going on here. And I love that, and I really can't get over it. So I hope this message inspires you to give whatever you have to God, whether that be relationships, materialistic things, ambitions, and essentially just your whole life, because that's what we're called to do as followers of Christ. But anyway, that's Mark chapter number 14. We'll see you tomorrow in 15. We're going to cover a whole lot more important stuff. It's going to be great. Might be a little sad too, but we're going to find out. And remember, God has a plan, and he loves you very much. All right, bye.